right, so welcome everybody. Johnny Moe here with Tyler from Realty Resources, and I want to welcome you for joining us. Tyler, welcome. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going, Johnny?
Same old, man, same old. You know that.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity to talk to your group a little bit more, Johnny, on how agents are just crushing it right now using our platform, and not just by calling. You know, Cole's been around forever, 70 plus years, and a lot of people know us for, oh yeah, they're the program that you use to get the phone numbers for a neighborhood or for a street so I can call. And that's great. Everybody should be calling and pick up the phone, having conversations. But now with technology, agents right now, Johnny, are just crushing it using our data with so many different ways of reaching out to a neighborhood. So not just by, picking up and having a phone call is just one piece of it, but now you can use our platform using it, so many different ways. And we're going to talk about that as well here, Johnny. So I know you bopped off for a second and getting back on now.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So
put this down for a minute. I got me muted over here. That way when in about 2 minutes, I'm going to take off and I'll unmute myself, but we can talk, but we'll get this nice brick wall behind me.
All right.
And, dude, let me tell you, I know you travel around quite a few, a lot of the places. That's where you and I actually physically met, talked about. I travel around, I coach a lot of people, and I get to hear how different people are doing different things. Since I coach, and I'm still in production a little bit, I still like to try these things out to figure out what works, what doesn't. That way I can bring the most valuable methodology to my coaching people, right? And make sure that, hey, it's working for me. This is how I did it. And with anything, the system isn't going to do it for you. You have to do it. But there's different ways. And, I'm going to share some secrets with what I've done recently with great success. And it's yeah, you have that data. You have so much data there. And I tell my team locally that works for me, man, you got to mine the data. You got to be in these things. You want to be the master of a neighborhood. This is the system that you use to help become that, right? And it's from everything with, you can extract emails and make a custom audience in Facebook or email them. But you got to be careful because most systems only allow you to email 2,500 a month.
Yep.
You can get their phone numbers, enter them into a slide broadcast, and hit 1,000 people in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Now, what I suggest everybody to do is get a Google Voice number and use that as your callback number, and don't forward to your cell phone. Just let it dump into Google Voice.
Yes.
Put out the voicemail messages and the text messages that way.
Yes.
Right? But if you spent 2 hours every day doing lead generating, follow up and everything, and you only spent a half hour, maybe 45 minutes in call extracting that information, because you really only have to extract it once a quarter to make sure there's no updates. You hit those areas, and then you can take the landlines and you can dump them up into your Red X or whatever you use for a dialer. Now all of a sudden you got a slide broadcast, you got a Facebook thing going on, and you got you're calling your calls. If you spend just 45 minutes mining the data out of call and then implementing the automated strategies, dude, I'll tell you what, you can make some serious money.
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. And it's funny. So yeah, that's what we talk about all day long, right? And I want people to be making phone calls. And I'm not saying don't do that by any means, but a lot of people, just grabbing a neighborhood and calling for 3 hours a day, it can get overwhelming, right? And so I want folks to still be doing that, but let's take this data and leverage technology that we have right now as a way to also get in front of folks, right? So just all the things that, Johnny, that you were just talking about, to call around, to take the phone numbers, take the cell phone numbers and dump them into slide dial and just let an entire neighborhood know that way about an upcoming, any sort of activity in a neighborhood, right? So one thing, just thinking outside of the box. And I have clients, what they're doing right now is they'll grab a neighborhood and, they'll have an open house in that neighborhood, and they'll do a food drive for the People City Mission, or something that's near and dear to them. And now you can, call, grab a neighborhood and just broadcast and say, hey, we're having an open house on Sunday at 102 Apple Street. We'd love for you to stop by. the same time, we're actually going to be having a food drive for the people of City Mission, and we'd love for you to, stop by, bring some canned foods. And the whole goal is just to have as many conversations with people as you can, right? Because, like we're talking about, I'm all the time going to all these events all across the country, and it's all about having as many conversations every day. So these top agents on stage, that's what they're always saying is have as many conversations every day with as many people as you can, and using automation, leveraging technology as a way to automate the process as well and be smarter about your time. Right?
Yeah, and you just came back last week from the LCA Live event, right?
Yeah.
And man, that's basically the mission that we have, is to automate, to make your life easier. And when you're able to leverage some level of automation and technology into your business, you win. And what I coach is leverage is time, and time is money, right? So the more you can leverage, you can't create any more time, but you can manipulate time.
Correct.
So if you're going to sit there and dial all day long, I don't have a problem with that. If that's what you like, that's what you're into. I don't like it, and I'm not into it, so I'm not going to do it. I might call expires or those through the other systems, but these people that are just like, I got a cold call for 12 hours a day to get. No, man, I'm going to hit. Listen, I was heading up to the beach the other day to go to the beach house, and for some reason I scheduled in Sly Broadcast 1,000 dials, like 1,013 or something. And I left my house. Then about 45 minutes later, it was 12 o'clock, and all of a sudden my phone's blowing up.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are calling back saying, don't call me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you all, y'all are going to get a quick coaching lesson right now. And let me tell you my success story, which happened last month, and I'm putting it together right now. So I went into a Facebook group, local buy-sell group. I have home value leads, which just gives you a quick automated home value, right? I said, hey, is anybody, I went in there and I said, OMG, capital OMG, the Goffstown real estate market is on fire. I can't believe the price of these homes. Take a look at this nifty little tool that I found. Now, there's nothing to do with Cole. I'm just giving everybody the whole process.
Right.
I got somebody that opted in, said, we're thinking about selling our home. I did what any good real estate salesperson is supposed to do, get the appointment. I went over there and talked with them and met with them. And they're like, well, we'll sell, but we want to stay in Goffstown. We want to stay on this side of town, and we want to be in the neighborhood because they have 2 little kids, 2 years old, and they're on a busy street. I said, okay. I said, you do realize that you have a hindrance. You have a house to sell, and that's hard in this market, and things come on the market. They're off in a couple of hours. I said, so what I need to do is identify somebody who's willing to sell a house to you off market with a home sale contingency. So what did I do the next day? I logged into Cole. I know the area, just like you should know your market, right? And I extracted 4 or 5 big neighborhoods, which are the only neighborhoods on that side of the river that would work. And I slide dialed and emailed. And I got 2 people. I got 1 person email me back, and I got 1 person call me back. I actually got 2 people to email me back, and 1 person to call me. And the funny thing is, one of the people who emailed and one of the people who called were husband and wife, and they didn't know each other was responding. So I hit the wife on voicemail on her phone, and I hit the husband on email, on his personal email. So I went over there, we talked about it, met with them. He's going to be working for another 18 months, but they bought a house up in Maine, an hour away, and he's taking care of 2 lawns, this, that, the other thing. He says, we definitely want to sell. We're thinking in the springtime, but if it's no fuss, no muss, we don't have to get the house ready for showing, painting, all that stuff. We'll do it.
Right.
So I brought the buyers over. Buyers like the house. Are putting the final details together now. And they're going to be selling their house for $350,000. And I'm the only agent involved. Of course, they're getting a discount. I'm not greedy. And that's going to lead me to listing the other people's house for $300,000. So right there's $650,000 in transactional dollars. Now let me tell you something. If my goal is $6 million for the year, I just hit 12%.
Boom.
Right.
12%.
Now, doesn't it seem easier to do that than just cold call all day long? Right. You're able to, and the whole thing took me 2 hours.
Right.
I have 2 hours invested at this point.
Right. Right.
You know,
And just think now, and that's one time, Johnny. I mean, now that you've done, and the more that you do that, the more that you get more familiar of grabbing a list from Cole and then going into Slide Dial and uploading the list there or recording a pre-recorded voicemail. The more and more you do it, again, it becomes automated, right? And then you'll be able to do it even faster. So the next time it might only take you an hour to do all of that. And I love every step that you did there. Can you tell me a little bit more? Like, so your message, was it very descriptive when you did that voicemail broadcast about your potential buyers? Was there
on this particular message, it was this: the name of the road that the folks live on is Montalona. And everybody knows Montalona is a major cut-through road.
Right.
I said, hey, it's Johnny Moe with EXP, just giving you a quick call out. This family with 2 beautiful young kids that live over on Montalona Road, and they're looking for a house to purchase, but they want to stay on the Grassmere side of Goffstown. They're looking 3-bedroom, colonial neighborhood type. If you've been thinking about selling in the next year, please reach out to me. We might be able to put it together for you with no fuss, no muss, no painting, no 20, 30 showings, no signs, anything else like that, and save you a whole bunch of money on the commission.
Right.
And just leave me a message, just left my message, because I'm not calling. I'm calling with an actual need, and I want to identify with them in their area, right? So when I say the street and I say the section of town, they get it,
Yep. Very descriptive, right? And if you have the opportunity, and that's what I talk about, is everybody has buyers they're working with, and those buyers have certain parts of towns that they want to live in. So why not be as descriptive about those buyers as you can? If the wife is pregnant, talk about it in your voice, in your phone call, or the automated voicemail delivery platforms, or if they want to be in a certain, if they're empty nesters and this is their dream neighborhood, talk about that. That is huge. If they want to be in a certain school district, talk about the Edenton South and Pine Oaks school districts. Be as descriptive as possible. So I love it. What was your email like? What kind of subject line did you use, if you don't mind me asking?
Montalona Road. That's all I put. RE regarding Montalona Road.
Right. Right. And I bet.
That's all I put.
And I bet did you track open rates at all? I bet your open rates were out of the roof because people.
Yeah, we had like an 86% open rate.
Right. Because people, they love that information. It's the same way. So we have folks that will use our emails, and they want to automate it, more of like a nurturing campaign. They'll put the emails into a product called like eProperty Watch. eProperty Watch is owned by CoreLogic, like the biggest data company in the world. And part of their, they have a platform called eProperty Watch. It's like $29 a month, and you can upload up to 2,500 emails, and they'll automatically send out emails about any activity that's going on in that neighborhood. Because because we have an email tied to an address. So with eProperty Watch, if a just listed happens close to that address, or price values go up or whatever it is, they will send automated emails. And our agents are getting like at least a 50% open rate alone on those sort of emails, because the same thing in the subject line, it says new listing in Village Meadows subdivision, just sold property in Big Thompson subdivision. And guess what homeowners like? They don't care about getting an email or a postcard about reminding them to turn their clock back for daylight savings time. They want to know home values. They want to know what houses are buying and selling for in their neighborhood, because it directly impacts the value of their big asset, their home. So I love everything that you just did right there, Johnny, is what we say to do all day long. And it works, right? But it's taking action, because with a product like ours, we're just the data, right? We're a big list of cell phones, emails, whatever it is, but you have to make it actionable. And using automated systems like what you're talking about makes the data actionable. And then I'd say, if you don't want to make the phone calls either, maybe just pick up and call the closest 25 neighbors. Actually hand dial around a listing or around a sold property, and just call the people on the street, right? And
not
do it with the dial. And not do it with the dialer, but use it, just pick up the phone and start calling those people and have really intimate conversations with the closest neighbors. And that's way easier than calling, 1,000 people in a neighborhood and a dialer and spending 5 hours doing it. So I love it.
What's funny is I talk to a lot of people. I am an agent, so I can say what I'm about to say. We're lazy, and we're looking for that magic bullet, that magic thing, the magic ISA that's going to do the job for us. And I can't tell you, when I was building my business for 16 years, nobody had an ISA. You know what I mean? That term didn't exist. And some people had a telemarketer. I had a telemarketer. And somehow we now call them ISAs. But what we used to have to do is especially on like a 10-10-20 campaign, and I'll tell the audience what that is in a second. I would have to pull the list, give it to her. She would then call all those people manually, hand dialing, right? And then dialers came along, but then there's slide dial. So now I don't have to have all these crazy systems. I just say, okay, I'm going to map base this. I'm going to draw a radius. I'm going to pick the streets that I want. I'm going to hit a button. Here you go. I'm going to take the cell phones. I'm going to take the emails. I'm going to give you the landlines, upload those to Redex. You dial away. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to slide dial and I'm going to send out an email and I'm done. Right? So you want a 10-10-20 somebody? And what 10-10-20 is, for the agents that are listening that don't know, is when a house is listed, 10 on the same side of the street in either direction or 20 on the opposite side of the street will list as well. All right, within the next year. And if you don't believe me, go to Zillow, type in an address, and zoom down. You'll see one the next street over. You'll see one 2 streets over. You'll start to see these patterns emerge. Yep. And that's what we want to chase. So these people that are like, oh, I need an ISA. No, you don't need an ISA. You just need the right systems and the right processes.
Yep, absolutely. Have you done anything with Facebook custom audiences then using Cole's emails at all, Johnny?
Yes. Hold on. I put everybody to a custom audience, and I run a continual ad for $5 a day.
Right. And it's so affordable. That's what's insane about it, right? It's so cheap to get as many impressions as you can. And, I've just kind of even like watching conferences at the event here that we were talking about last week. You have these agents who are basically they're saying like the Google PPC world might be done. As a consumer, me going out there and Googling and to live in that space as an agent, you can't compete with the Zillows and the realtor.coms of the world and those guys. But with Facebook custom audiences, it's so affordable. And kind of our generation now is a lot of prospects don't want to be bothered, but you need to stay top of mind with as many people as you can. So again, if you're doing a custom ad on Facebook and you're mentioning a certain subdivision or a certain zip code or something like that, but especially a subdivision, if you can say, new listing in Pine Oak subdivision, and you're blasting and you're boosting that Facebook ad to a custom audience to the 500 people that live in that neighborhood, how huge is that? And then you also email them, and then you also drop them a voicemail. All of a sudden they're thinking, man, this agent's everywhere. Like if we use him to sell our house, he'll use all these same sort of platforms, and it will help you get that listing appointment, right?
Oh, 100%. Whew, I just walked up 2 flights of stairs. That's on a hot human day. Just fact I didn't like that.
And again, we're live. That's what happens, right? You're on the go. So,
I want to make a point. Hold on 1 second. Here's one thing a lot of people don't bring away from me down, that they don't realize on what's going on with Facebook. Facebook is getting rid of a lot of the definers that we can pick from right now.
It is.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
And automated audiences, custom audiences are way less expensive anyway.
Yep.
And if you're able to get that custom audience for 50 cents versus, trying to have Facebook figure it out for you, then you are saving money. It's cheaper to run to a custom audience.
It's
right?
so affordable. So affordable. Yes.
So what you want to do is, and this is going to have a social media strategy, but this is how Cole plays in that social media strategy. I want to hit this neighborhood of 500 houses.
Yep.
I'm able to get 200 emails and 250, 300 emails and cell phones through Cole.
Yep.
If somebody has the app on their phone, right, Facebook app,
Yep.
then you have a phone number associated with it in a way, right?
Yep.
So you dump both of them up there.
Yep.
Now you're creating a custom audience
Yes.
based upon that information.
Yes.
And it's cheaper than going in there and saying, hey, anybody in this radius, anybody in this demographic.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So,
and if I understand it right, Facebook only I think the smallest area that you can narrow it down by is by a zip code. And,
or 1 mile of an address.
Or 1 mile of an address. Yeah. And so, I don't know, I guess for me, and that's still the fact that you could then, part of your messaging is talking about a certain subdivision that somebody lives in. And now you can talk about, what's going on in Big Thompson subdivision or an open house in Village Meadows subdivision. I think that makes you stand out so much more than just talking about a generic zip code or a radius anyways. So that and what you're saying, it's a lot more affordable if you upload the cell phones and emails into Facebook and go that right on that route as well. It's just a no-brainer, to be honest with you. And for the price of Cole, I mean, if people aren't on here right now, it's about $1,000 for the year. For Johnny Moe, we always knock it down $500 off the list price, so it's $996 for the year. We have some payment plans, so you can break it down to 4 payments of $249 for the year. So if you think about it, the total cost about $80 a month for Cole to get all of the data for all the different things that we're talking about here so far. For hand dialing calls, uploading them, put them into the dialers, voicemail drops, sending emails, and then uploading the list into Facebook for marketing campaigns. I have a client who actually sent me an audio here, Johnny, of him talking on stage at a conference in Phoenix here a while back, where he'd been interviewed by one of the guys, and 10 transactions in the last 6 months without ever actually picking up the phone. And he was just doing the Facebook custom audiences and then sending the emails as well via eProperty Watch. So that's absolutely amazing. And it's part of, we're all supposed to have, and this is what I try to coach people too. You need a strategy for each thing, right? You can't just run an ad with no idea. You can't just, I'm going to run an ad. What's your target? Who's your audience? Right.
What's the message? Right. With the custom audiences, it's a little bit easier because it's more branding, if you would. It's, it's like 2 or 3 branding ads, call to action. 2 or 3 branding ads, call to action. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And here's the thing: you dump 500 people into your custom audience today. Tomorrow you dump another 500. Then you dump another 500. It's the same.
Yep.
And then you want to hear? I'm about to tell everybody the secret in Facebook marketing and where the money comes from. Then you have 2,500 people in your audience.
Yep.
There's a little button called lookalike.
Yep.
Right? Boom. Let me create a lookalike audience, see what happens with that.
Yep.
Right? And the whole goal is you're building these audiences to get engagement, and then you retarget that engagement.
Right.
That's why video is so powerful. People talk about video, but they don't tell you why. Why video is so powerful is because you can then retarget based upon who watched your video, 5%, 10%, 20%, all the way up to 95% will watch the whole thing.
Yep.
If somebody's going to sit there, if you're going to put out a 1.5 minute market snapshot video and somebody watched the whole thing, probably a pretty good chance that they're interested in the real estate market.
Right.
So then you run a second ad, or you run a second video or an ad to people who watched more than 50%.
Right. No, it's perfect. And I want to tell you so for the 4th of July here, a couple of days ago in the 3rd, our neighborhood, some friends of mine, our agents down the street from me, And so there already was like a neighborhood bike parade. It's planned every year. And so they decided to do like a donuts, coffee, and orange juice ahead of before the parade at their house. They live like 2 blocks away from the school, the elementary school where the parade's at. And so what they did is they used Cole, grabbed all the cell phones and emails from the 2 subdivisions and the 2 subdivisions are right next to each other. Like they're connected both around the school, kind of newer, old subdivision, newer and older subdivision. But so then they did that custom audience as a way to let all the neighbors know, hey, we'd love for you to stop by our house. We're going to have face painting, tattoos for the kids, hair color dye for the kids. But she did a video just talking about that, just like that, and then sent it to the neighborhood not via Facebook targeted ad, and then sent the email as well. But again, in something like that, it wasn't like a call to action, really. It was, they had their brokerage name, Brock and Trishelle underneath, branding it that way. But just as a way to get in front of people, right?
Absolutely.
So, awesome.
And that's some of the stuff I teach and we deeply get into in coaching is how, community pages, what's the message, the giveaways, how to retarget, and all that other stuff. And you should be doing that. You don't just run an ad one way. You run an ad, the traditional way with definers, right? You pick your definers and your geographic. You do your custom audience, and every one of your past clients should be in a custom audience in a custom audience.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they're continually seeing you out there. So when they see you, they're like, wow, you're really hustling.
Yep.
And again, top of mind consciousness. But it all starts with one thing. And you hear this word over and over and over and over. Hell, you had heard Gary Keller talk about it at family reunion. Data.
Yep.
One word, right? 4 little letters, data. And it all starts with data. See, you don't need an ISA. You want an ISA because you don't want to make the phone calls. But if you have the right data and the right system in place, then you don't need an ISA. You don't need that person outbound calling.
Yep.
Right? So Michael, when I'm coaching people, because I work with a lot of agents that are on budgets and things like that, are brand new, or trying to have some sort of breakout, isn't to spend $5,000. If you tell me you got $5,000 a month to spend, I can show you exactly what systems to have and how to do it, and you'll be making a ton of money. But most agents don't have that, so I try to do things that A, work, and B, are cost effective, right? This is one of the most basic of systems that every agent should have.
Yep.
It's that simple. Because it has the data.
Right, and the most cost-effective ones. I mean, man, I hate to see these agents who are going on, the big 3 that we all know about, and are spending, $5,000, $10,000 a month on leads that really aren't exclusive to them. Those same leads are getting sold over and over again, and the reason because these same prospects are filling out the same lead forms over and over and over again for numerous agents. And so everything that we're talking about right now is also a way for you to get in front of and create your own leads that aren't getting shared with, dozens of other agents as well.
Yeah. All right. They're making me go in the back too. So I'm going to be a little bit quiet too.
Okay.
But it's all about having that data. It's all about having that time block schedule. It's all about doing the work, Tyler. And if agents would just spend a little bit of time, Cole isn't the answer. It's a piece to the answer, right? So you got Cole. Thank you. All right. So you got Cole. That gives you your data.
Yep.
Now you need to get that data aggregated out there somehow. And that's the fly broadcast. That's the custom audiences. And by doing those 2, you can create an unstoppable. Look at me, 650 and 1 attempt.
Yep.
That's a pretty good hit. I would like to duplicate that every single day.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. No. So guys, if you don't have a Cole subscription already, I think that we have a lot of we have some agents on here already customers, but if you're not a customer right now, we could do $996 for the year, 4 payments of $249, and that's per agent. We have some pricing for offices as well. Most people we talk to are agents, so it's $996 for the year. It's a $500 discount, and you can get as much data as you want to throughout the year, everything that we're talking about here, where you just go in there, grab a neighborhood, download that list of cell phones and emails that belong to that neighborhood into Excel. From once into Excel, then you can put it into Facebook, put it into Slide Dial, put it into a dialer, whatever you want to, and just start making it happen.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to do it, there's a ton of videos out there. But if you need coaching, I'm always available for you as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd like to, maybe we can do this again here soon, Johnny. I'd like to pick your brain on some other things as well. I know we're already at a half hour, so I'd say let's wrap it up. You can go do your thing here, and hopefully some agents got some good tidbits on this opportunity as well that we're talking about.
Yep, and everybody that's listening, when I send out the replay, I'll put the link in there for Cole, and everybody that's on Facebook, I'll post it there when I'm done.
Excellent.
All right.
All right,
Thank
Johnny.
you, Tyler.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.